So here's how to do speed mapping. So we're just going to use a couple clips because we're going to speed one up, slow one down, and do a freeze frame. Now what I would suggest to start is to make your video one taller. So you kind of get in between the two tracks. You get that little hamburger looking thing and you drag that up. Now that'll make your video and your speed mapping easier to see. So you change that. Then what you want to do is you want to click on the wrench here and you want to make sure that it says show video keyframes, which it does. So now you're ready to get started with this. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick a spot, like let's say we're going to start, let me back this up. You're going to pick a spot where the car is going to start to, like where the hood's going to fly out. Okay, so right about there. Now what you'll do is down here, there's a little button that says FX. That's your special effects. You're going to right click on it, time remapping, and you're going to change the speed. So what you'll do is you'll use the pen tool and you'll make keyframes. So this is where we wanted to start. So we'll make a keyframe here, and then we wanted to move down a little bit where the hood's flying out, something like that. And so then we'll make another keyframe there. So let's start with slow motion. So to do slow-mo, you take the arrow tool and you drag down. Now watch this, it'll expand time. So this will get your expanding time. So your clip's going to get larger. So now we go along, car blows up, and then boom, we go into slow motion. And then once we get past it, then it'll speed up again. Now if we want to make this a little smoother, we can drag these keyframes back a little bit and you'll see how it makes a ramp. That's called ramping. And so now what the clip will do is it'll be a little smoother in and out. It won't be so abrupt. So then it slows down and then it'll speed up. It'll kind of ramp back into the speed. So what we want to do is make it a little smoother. So what you're going to do is called time interpolation. So you're going to right click and you're going to come up and you're going to find time interpolation, and you want to use what's called optical flow. And optical flow will make your video look a lot smoother. Now right now it's red because it hasn't been rendered. Once it renders, then it will look much smoother. So that's how we do slow-mo. So let's say we want to speed something up. So let's take the shot where he's looking in the rear view mirror, and we'll drag that onto the timeline. So he's looking at the rear view mirror, and we want to like speed it up to emphasize kind of what he sees. So we'll come over, say, to this area, right click on the FX, and it's time, speed. Now here's our line. So we'll kind of I'm just going to kind of find a rough spot here, and we'll take the pen tool, and we're going to make a keyframe. We'll move a little further along and we'll make another keyframe. Now this time we want it to go fast, so we take the arrow and we pull up, and that's going to compress time. So now, and it will speed up. So that's how we do a speed up. Now for our last one, let's do a freeze frame. So let's take this close-up of the explosion. We'll drag this down here onto the timeline, and we want to freeze it in a certain spot. So let's say, we want it to freeze like right in here. Okay, so what you do is you get the camera, you take a picture. Now it's really important that you make sure that you click on this box that says import into project. That way you can find it. Make sure it's a JPEG. You say okay. So here's my picture, and I'm going to drag it. I'm going to put it up here. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to set an in point, which is the I key. I'm going to play down a little bit, set an O for the out play, the out point. So this is how long it's going to stay frozen. Now, what we do is we've got this set where we want it to go. all you have to do is click on the insert button and it'll insert it. So now it's inserted the freeze frame in between. So what you have to remember is I for in, O for out for the duration, and then you can just insert it where you've set it to insert. So now it'll look something like this. And it keeps going. And then once you render it out, then it'll be a lot smoother. So that's how you do speed mapping. So how do you make it speed up, how do you make it slow down, and how do you make it freeze?